Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Today we're going to go through chapter 23 of Jubilees, and it is quite a long one, so let's get started. Father, please be with us as we go through this chapter, and I pray that you will show us what you want to show us and enlighten us. In Yahshua's name, amen. And he placed 2 fingers of Jacob on his eyes, and he blessed the God of gods, and he covered his face and stretched out his feet and slept with the sleep of eternity, and was gathered to his fathers. Notwithstanding all that Jacob was lying in his bosom, notwithstanding all this, Jacob was lying in his bosom, and knew not that Abraham his father was dead. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and behold, Abraham was cold as ice. And he said, Father, Father. But there was none that spake, and he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran and told Rebekah his mother. And Rebekah went to Isaac in the night, and told him, and they went together, and Jacob with him, and a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Isaac fell on his face, on the face of his father, and wept and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham and Ishmael, and his son arose and went to Abraham his father, and went over Abraham his father, wept over him. And in all the house of Abraham they wept with a great weeping. And his son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the double cave near Sarah his wife, and they wept for him for 40 days, and all the men of his house, and Isaac and Ishmael and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places, and the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 jubilees, and after the flood they began to grow less than 19 jubilees, and to decrease in jubilees, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of manifold tribulation and the wickedness of their days, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahuwah, and well pleased in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. All the generations shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment, shall grow old quickly, before they complete 2 jubilees, and their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age. Land, all their know. Oh, that doesn't make sense to me. Pardon me, brothers and sisters. By reason of their old age, land, all their know, ledge shall vanish away. I do not understand what is written here, or why, what that is actually talking about. I'll read that again. By reason of their old age, land, all their know, comma, ledge shall vanish away. In those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no place for calamity follows on calamity, and the wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil tidings on evil tidings, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments, each as these one another illnesses, and overthrow, and snow, and frost, and ice, and fever, and chills, and torpor, and famine, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanliness and fornication, and the pollution and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 60 years and 10, and if he is strong, 80 years. And those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahweh made between them and him, and they should observe to do all his commandments and his ordinances and all his laws, without departing either to the right hand or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works and all their uncleanliness and an abomination, and all their ways are polluted, uncleanliness and destruction. Behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men, and they shall strive one another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, the beggar with the prince, on account of the law and the covenant, for they have forgotten commandment and covenant, and feasts, and months, and Sabbaths, and jubilees, and all judgments. And they shall stand with bows, and swords, and war, to turn them back into the way. But they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. All those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, and that they might each take all that is his neighbor's, and they shall name the great name, but not in truth, and not in righteousness, and they shall defile the Holy of Holies with their uncleanliness and their corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahweh, and he will give them over to the sword and to judgment and to captivity, to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the persons of none, neither old nor young, nor any one, for they are more wicked and more strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Israel, and transgression against Jacob, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to stop right here and continue this on part 2 of Jubilees chapter 23, as my timing is about to run out here. So join me for the next part, chapter 2, Walking in Yah's Way.